Hey guys, it's Brienne here, and so today I have another MANHWA recommendation type video. This one's going to be featuring red-haired female leads. Like I mentioned in a previous video, I'm kind of just trying to make more subcategories for MANHWA that I've read or MANHWA that I want to check out, just in case that's something that people are more interested in. In one of my more recent videos, I did do blonde female lead MANHWA characters. So yeah, today to match with my lipstick, we're going to go with red-haired ones. So if you're familiar with my channel, some of these are going to be repetitive. If you've never seen my channel before, then you might not have heard of all of these, so that's great. This list also does have some that I have not checked out, but I have added to my want to read list, so I figured I would mention them, and then if you guys have read these MANHWA or anything, you could like kind of leave your recommendations, stuff like that. But alright, without further ado, let's get into this video. Alright, so the first one is definitely a MANHWA I have mentioned before. It is called Aidin. So it is from 2020 and it does have a 76.79% Kitsu community approval rating. And so I use Kitsu to keep track of all the MANHWA I want to read or manga I want to read, or that I've read, as well as anime I've watched and all that. And so that's where I usually get synopsises and everything from, just so you're aware. If I recall this one correctly, I do know I really enjoyed it, but if I remember correctly, it did take a while for the chapters, so that kind of sucked because I'm really impatient. I believe I've mentioned this MANHWA before on my channel because the female lead also has to hide her identity. So if it's something, it is a reincarnation type, she is reliving her life. I believe she's 17 and she has to relive it again as an assassin. So like really cool, really like a strong female lead as well. And according to this, I did so far give it a 9 out of 10 rating. So I clearly really enjoyed it back in the day. Alright, and so the next MANHWA I'm gonna mention, I actually haven't checked it out. I thought I did, but I must be thinking of a different one. Because you know, a lot of MANHWA can tend to be really similar. But this one is called I Raised a Boy Kindly, but he returned as an obsessive man. So the art style, really nice. I am a little curious now, just like looking back, because I used to read MANHWA quite a few years ago. I'm trying to get back into it. But like, is this going to be a weird kind of age gap thing since it says I raised a boy kindly and then he came back as an obsessive man? So is it going to be kind of weird? Because it's making me think of Sincerely I Became the Duke's Maid or something, which like has a weird age gap as well. So kind of curious about this one. I will read the synopsis just in case it's something you want to check out. I possess the body of Circenia, the only sorceress in the Empire who can conjure the power of fire. Fortunately for me, I still had 3 years before the original story began. Determined to change my fate, I decided to visit a gambling house where I hit the jackpot. But instead of money, I was offered a young slave boy as collateral. Regarding your name, what about Ben? I like it. Ben, it sounds good, thank you. As I took care of the poor boy, I started to grow fond of him. In a world with no one to turn to, I thought that I had finally met someone I could rely on. But one day, the man who agreed to remain by my side disappeared without a word. So yeah, again, don't know how I feel that he was like a boy and she's clearly gonna be older. But yeah, I could see myself giving this a go, maybe, possibly. I mean, I really like the art style, and that's a huge thing for me. Alright, and so the next one is called Villainess Maker. The synopsis on this one is a lot of like conversation. So I might skip that part, but I'll just quickly read it. I reincarnated into a romance fantasy novel written 10 years ago. On top of that, I became the villainess, Isla, who cursed the female lead and was killed by the male lead. However, before long, the days began to repeat because I didn't act like the original villainess, Isla. Like I mentioned, I'm just skipping all this conversation that's in the synopsis because I don't think it's that important. The seemingly dangerous and mysterious man spoke sweet demon-like words into my ears. Can Isla really become a real villainess? Stop. Roof. Villainess Maker, the devil's captivating class to create a real villainess has begun. So there are some reactions on Kitsu and people seem to really enjoy it, and the art style looks cool. The guy definitely looks kind of demon-y, like devil-y, and I think he has a neck tattoo. But yeah, I probably will give this a go. It is still publishing. Alright, and so the next MANHWA is definitely the MANHWA I was thinking about before, and it is called I Became the Villain's Mother. I have read this one. I did give it a 7.5 out of 10, and it is still publishing. I don't know how many chapters I got into at the time, but I'll quickly read the synopsis as well. I became the mother of Aidin Spanner, who was presumed to be the final mastermind of this novel. I was supposed to be a bad stepmother who abused him when he was a child and eventually became the first to be killed by him when he becomes an adult. I was thinking of a plan to escape my tragic fate when I saw the young future villain and the naive, innocent look on his face. However, he was so cute I couldn't believe he would become a villain when he grew up, so I decided I will protect him. This way he'll save me too when he's all grown up. So this one, even though I did mention it sounding like the other one, this is just like a relationship between a stepmother and son. I would assume there is no romance going on because she is his stepmother. And this is an adult anime, if you will. Or adult manhwa, if you will. So like, see, this one, like, this is fine. It's just like when it's like you raised a boy and like, so you're clearly older than him. It's just a little weird, you know? But yeah, I do remember enjoying this one. All right, and so the next one is one I haven't checked out yet, and it is called I'll Become the Tyrant's Tutor. And so it is finished, which like very rare in a manhwa, at least used to be. It started in 2021 and finished in 2022, and it has 83 chapters, so that's really not that many. Like, I feel like you could finish this in a couple days if like you only read this. Does have a 68% community approval rating, so like could be wishy-washy, but the art style, the male lead looks great, and I don't even like blonde male leads, but yeah. But we'll hop into the synopsis since I don't actually know what this one is about. Prima Belle is astonished when she wakes up to find herself in a novel of her own creation as an obscure painter who gets killed by the male protagonist, Prince Ramses. The world she created has not been kind to Ramses. In addition to being colorblind, he has been shunned and feared his entire life, for a prophecy had been made that the one trapped in a black and white world shall drench the empire in blood. Prima Belle resolves to disprove the prophecy after witnessing his misery firsthand. To do so, she must track down his destined other half. The only problem, all she knows about the fair beauty is that she has black hair and crimson eyes. Will Prima Belle be able to help Ramses see the world in all its splendid colors and find true happiness? Why do I feel like the girl with black hair and crimson eyes is going to be like her in the future or something? Like, you know, some kind of like reincarnation thing that she used to have black hair and red eyes and she's going to like find him in the future. Like, you know? Something like that, like he gets reincarnated in the future. I don't know. I'm just making an assumption, but yeah, there is a reaction that says don't read this, and it does have 5 upvotes. I mean, I always like to give something a go, and I'll be honest, I rarely drop things because like my brain just doesn't let me do that. Like even if I hate something, I have to finish it. Like I read a book, like an actual novel, like book in English. And oh my god, it was terrible. Like I gave it 1 star. I never give up 1 stars, but I had to finish it because like I can't leave something unfinished. There's just something in my brain that just doesn't allow me to. So yeah, I probably would check this out and finish it, especially since it is finished. And like the art style looks nice, but yeah. Be wary of this one, but it is a red-haired female lead. All right, and so the next manhwa is one I haven't actually read, but I've seen it in a lot of places, so I figured I'd mention it. It is My Husband Hides His Beauty. It is still publishing. I really don't know much about this, but I just know I always see it everywhere, so I'll just read the synopsis really quickly. There's a family who 4 generations were rumored to be monsters. The lord of the Halstead Castle, Aidin, he adorns a mask to hide his scary face. Leticia, who was sent to marry Lord Halstead in place of her sisters, began to be referred to as the woman who married the monster, and was pitied by others, but there is a secret that they don't know. I'm always grateful to you, wife. You're so kind to the unsightly me. Well, since I'm Aidin's wife, I need to divorce you soon so you won't be troubled by such things anymore. I'm sorry, but I lost the divorce papers. Well, of course, that's because I burnt them. So I need more time. I think it'll take more time. I need to spread more scary rumors about the North to the lawyers. I am definitely not divorcing such a handsome husband. So that was a weird synopsis, but honestly, I'm intrigued. It sounds interesting. I definitely would check this one out. But like that synopsis was not the greatest. Alright, and so the next manhwa is definitely one I've mentioned on my channel before. It is called Adonis, and I really enjoyed it. It is still publishing, which I'm so surprised because it first came out in 2016, so that's a very long time to still be publishing. The art style does change, like maybe halfway through, and I did prefer the old art style, but it is a strong female lead, and also the male lead's really strong as well. It does have a interesting plot as well, but I haven't read it since apparently chapter like 169 or so. So I don't know what's going on these days, but I do really enjoy it, and it is a strong, independent female lead with red hair. Alright, and so the next manhwa I have to mention, it's kind of cheating, sort of. I don't really know. She kind of has like brownie, like she's kind of brunette, like a red-haired brunette. So I'm gonna include it just because I have read this one, and she might be a little bit more on the brunette side. But I've given it 7.5 out of 10 stars. It is still publishing. I will say it is more of a mature type of manhwa. There is some adult content in it. And I do enjoy it, but I will warn you, if you don't really like kind of like a meek female lead, you might not enjoy this. She is very like naive and she tries, but she's just maybe not the most interesting character. But other than that, I do enjoy it. It does have an 80% community approval rating on Kitsu, so people seem to really enjoy it, and the art style is incredible. Alright, and so the next one is also one that I have read as well. It's called It Looks Like I've Fallen Into the World of a Reverse Harem Game. And so this one I remember being funny. It is still currently publishing, and I did give it 7.5 out of 10 stars as well. I will say I feel like I am more generous in rating, so I might be giving it like 7 out of 10 stars, but other people wouldn't. I just tend to be generous for the most part. It's really hard for me to be like, wow, that's absolutely terrible. I don't know, that's just not me as a person. But I feel like you'd enjoy this one if you like reverse harems, if you like to... I do remember it being a little bit more on the mature side, not like as much as Under the Oak Tree or anything like that. But it is maybe like 16 plus or something like that, I'd say. But yeah, I did enjoy this. And alright, so the last manhwa I was gonna mention, apparently I'm not finding it on Kitsu, which I'm a little confused by because usually Kitsu is pretty good for having everything, but I think I did find it. But I think I did find it on another website, and it might actually not be a manhwa. From these names, I think it actually might be Chinese. So it is called Here Comes the Villainess. The summary that I'm finding on this website is very brief, so we'll give it a quick read. Pardon my pronunciation of these names as well. Xingru Li died in a horrific way as she experienced trauma and brutality by her fiance and sister. She has been reincarnated back in time 5 years, and she is now Azu, the daughter of her butler. Azu makes her move for revenge, but she didn't expect to be tied up with a cursed CEO. Honestly, sounds interesting. It looks like it's 120 chapters and it is finished. But yeah, I do believe from these names it's actually a Chinese manga, manhwa, I think is how you say it. That could be really wrong. But it is a red-haired female lead, so I got a point there. But yeah, I think that's all the manhwa I wanted to mention. There's 10 there. Again, manhwa/manhwa, because apparently the last one isn't on Kitsu. So yeah, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff down below. It really helps out my channel. If you have some more recommendations with red-haired female leads, please feel free to leave those down below. If you have checked out any of these, please feel free to leave something down below in the comments if you recommend them or not, especially a lot of the ones that I haven't checked out, just because there are a few that I haven't checked out. So yeah, I personally don't mind spoilers, so if you want to talk about spoilers, you can definitely do that with me. If you do that, I just ask, like, give a little spoiler warning for others, because I know spoilers aren't for everyone, but my anxious self loves them. I did just yawn, I'm not crying. I also don't know how this lighting's gonna be because I am in a different location. Like I said in one of my previous videos, I have a lot going on right now, so expect a lot of different filming locations. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Again, leave any recommendations or any comments down below. If you guys have requests for another type of series or anything like that, please feel free to leave that down below as well. But I hope you guys are having a great day or had a great day, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.